It's Friday morning, May 23rd, 2008, and I'm just a little surprised because this morning I looked at that video I made last night expressing some thoughts about the political scene at this time. Geez, when I looked at it, it was scary. I got the impression I was dead and talking from the grave. Maybe I thought this is the last day I've got on this good earth. But of course, that's foolishness. Called my daughter and said, "Take a look at that. What the devil's going on?" She laughed, said, "Dad, you didn't have enough light, and it didn't go through as good as it normally does." I said, "Well, it's spooky, but I'm going to leave it." It didn't distract from ideas that I had, and I was proud of those ideas, and I thought I'd stated them well, so I left it. Well, as I think you know, when I'm in Yuma, I still sub-teach at the high school level. And the other day I was in a class of biology with a marvelous, oh wow, was it a well-done film, espousing evolution. Didn't just come out and say it, but was really saying this proves that evolution is it and that the Bible's hogwash. Well, I ran into all that a whole long time ago, right after the experience of the Korean War and handling a lot of dead bodies and so on. That'll get you thinking about life and death and the Bible and so on. I had a high school girl asked to see me in private and let me know that she felt I was teaching her not to believe in her Bible by teaching science, biology. And I certainly explained to her that, hey, I didn't see that big a conflict, and I don't. But I won't go into all that right now. But thinking about all that, I'm going to do at least two joined videos here, maybe more, to share some thoughts that I have about science and religion and life in general. By the way, when I chose the moniker IGCT, I didn't do that lightly. I thought about it quite a bit. And being not a happy camper relationship with an older brother and finding out when we were in our 60s and 70s that he had resented me from the time I was a baby, and had even called me when I was so young I didn't remember it, ignorant turtle. It causes you to have some hang-ups. Being told by that brother over and over, "You're a liar, you're a liar." That's not good. Anyway, I try to tell the truth. But boy, am I aware that my short-term memory now is terrible. Long-term memory, much better. But then you get to thinking, well, wait a minute, if your short-term memory is not that good, what makes you so sure your long-term memory is really accurate? And quite frankly, on a lot of the things, I remember what's important to me about a situation, but a lot of times I can't remember the name of the teacher or the name of the boy or the girl. So it's an humbling experience. And I do enjoy doing the YouTube. I'm doing it for me. I'm doing it for my family. I'm doing it for anybody that gets some good out of it. Whether it's a chuckle, to say, "That old fool, look at him." Or to say, "Hey, that old fool maybe he's got something that's worth considering." And I thank those of you that have subscribed and so on. And doing these is, in a way, kind of scary, not just because of seeing that strange one last night, but it's kind of scary sometimes, certainly challenging, and definitely both humbling and an egotistical process. I really think the kind of thoughts I had and have had expressed last night on that video, I think I do speak for a lot of Americans. We want our country to regain its stature. We want morally responsible, and I'm not talking about whether you're a Catholic or a Mormon or a whatever, but a decent, honest, moral, ethical leadership in this country. Well, back in the 50s, had that extra GI Bill, had gotten my master's degree, and decided, well, what the heck, I think I'll start and see if I could become a doctor of education, school administration. Went to Greeley, and one of the first things they did in deciding whether to admit you to the program is have you take the graduate record examination. Hey, I was afraid of that thing, particularly afraid of it in the area of English. Our little high school, there was, I think, only a half a dozen of us graduated in year 46 when I got out of high school. We didn't have the greatest teachers, and English certainly wasn't one of my best subjects, certainly wasn't one of my favorite subjects. All that conjugation and so on, didn't like it. And in the bachelor's degree and the master's degree, I only had a couple of C's, and one of them was in freshman English. And I never had to take another one because I tested out on some stuff, and I feared that part of that graduate record examination. I can't remember how many hours, but it was several hours long tests, and the English section was the last section. And you had to take, at the very end, and write an essay, topic to be announced. Well, it was announced all right. That particular day, we had a whole bunch of us, I don't know, 15, 20, 30, 40, in desks pulled into a hot gymnasium, no ventilation, no air moving. Makes me sick almost to think of it right now, and I did get sick. I wasn't sure I could finish the dadgum day, particularly because I kept being afraid of that last part, that English part. You know, there was a grammar test, and then there was the essay. But I came to do it, toughed it out. Well, the topic they gave us to write on was possible uses of television in public education. Strange topic to even think about today, but you want to remember this was the 50s. We'd gotten our first television for Christmas in 1953 after I was home from Korea. Well, I knew, I can't remember now, but it was a 2 or 3 page essay. I knew the length that they specified. I made sure I got that length, but not a whole lot more. I made sure to capitalize where I should capitalize, put in the punctuation where it belonged, indent those paragraphs. What a great philosophical piece. It's done, finished, turned it in. Well, a few days later, we get the results mailed to us. Hey, was I ever pleased? I did very well, including well on the English part. Well, then a day or two later, I'm walking over to campus. Boy, go to that air-conditioned library to study. It beats the heck out of your hot little house. And Boyd Baldorf, professor, one of the small colleges in Colorado, said, "Hey, Dean, are you on your way to dummy English too?" And I said, "Prof, you can't be going to dummy English." "Oh, yes," he said, "I am." He said, "I wrote a great essay about how we could use television in education." But he said, "I got so excited that I didn't watch my spelling, my punctuation, and that sort of thing. I've got to take dummy English." So you see, all of us, regardless of who we are, have to watch to use the talents we have in the best way that we can. Have a good day.